Hi everybody. Just first thing, Happy New Year. It's going to be 2025 tomorrow. It's Christmas and Christmas. I always say Christmas Eve. It's New Year's Eve, and it's about 6:30 in the evening. I've already had my dinner, made myself a nice dinner, and I've just got a nice cup of tea, which I'm going to just have a little sip of before I start. And I thought I'd come on today. I looked at my video from last year that I put on YouTube, my take on 2024. I did actually recorded it on the 6th of January, which is a bit late really. And I kind of thought, oh, do I wait until the energy's kicked in for 2025 or do I do it beforehand? I'll probably do both. I'll probably do this video and then maybe do one in a couple of days' time because I like to wake up on New Year's Day and kind of feel the energy of what's going on. But I thought I'd come on early this year as well. I've had a really lovely day today. I picked a friend of mine up. We went to the charity shop on the way to, we were going to go for a coffee, do a little walk, and I was going to go to the farm shop. But on the way there, we went to the charity shop and I offloaded some things I've been trying to declutter for the best part of a couple of months now. And I got a big bag of cookery books and a few other bits and pieces, which we took to the charity shop. And then we headed to the farm to get some milk and maybe pick some eggs up, that kind of thing. I've been trying to shop at the farm park or the farm shop, call it a park because it's got like a children's area there. I've been trying to shop there more often and try to avoid as much as I can the supermarkets. One, I don't particularly want to be going into really busy places at this time of the year or even any time of the year. I have been doing more online shopping, but I like to go to the farm. So keeping it local. I remember as a child, I'm a child of the just into 50s, but more 50s, 60s, and like on the cusp there. And I used to remember going to the corner shop with my mum. She'd have a little basket, she had a little book, and she used to have everything written down of what she wanted to have. And she'd leave it with the grocer, and then she'd pop next door to get her meat. And then she'd come back, and the grocer would put like half a pound of butter, some cheese, eggs. We lived a very simple life. We had our own allotment, so we grew a lot of our own veg. My mum had lots of friends that had things like game, which is like rabbit and pheasant and things like that. So roadkill basically. She would buy a pig, half a cow, that kind of thing. We grew our own veg. She'd go and get fish. We always had fish on a Friday. And it was a very, very simple kind of life food wise. So what I'm saying is we don't need a lot of the products in the supermarket. They're all processed food, and it's almost like we've been the supermarkets has influenced us to go away from those traditional meals. Very simple. I'm British, meat and two veg. Now, I don't eat meat from the age of like 16, 15. When I started doing yoga at 15, I decided not to, I didn't want to eat meat anymore. And it was always part of that anyway. When I was a child, I would push my meat aside and just eat the veg and the gravy and the potatoes or whatever. Never really wanted the meat. So I naturally sort of moved away from that and I'm kind of vegetarian now. On saying that, sometimes I eat a bit of fish. I eat for my health and my body. So if my body feels that I want to eat a certain thing, then I will. I'll eat it. I'm not that strict, but I do like to observe a vegetarian kind of vegan life, really. But I'm not strict with it. So yeah, going to the farm shop and buying my own food is something I've been doing. I got there today; it was closed. So we decided to get back in the car and go for a walk, drive to this place and go for a walk. Now, I've lived in Leicestershire most of my life. I have lived away. I lived in the South Coast. I lived abroad, a few places. I've lived in the Caribbean. I lived in Africa. So I've sort of travelled around a bit. But when I always come back to Leicestershire, and I was actually shocked today that I've not. My friend took me to this walk, and I was like, "This feels like I'm totally in a place that I've never been to before." It was beautiful. It's a reservoir that's near me, a big, big reservoir, and you can walk all the way around the perimeter. We only walked 3/4 the way around because it got really muddy and we hadn't really got suitable shoes on to go any further. But it was glorious and it was lovely to spend time with my friend. Um, but it was kind of, I started to think to myself, I need to get out more. I need to get out and explore more. Just get in the car, drive somewhere, get lost, and find somewhere new. So that's one of my. I don't do New Year's resolutions. It's something that I don't do. What I tend to do is I set intentions. I go into the energy and I set the intentions usually this evening. So I'm making this video for you today, just to give you an idea of the energy of 2025, what I'm picking up anyway. And then tonight, what I will do, excuse me, I will sit and I'll do a meditation and I'll start to think, what do I need to do this year? And things will start coming in. That for me is the best way of doing it. So I don't set New Year's resolutions like I want to lose a stone in weight, I want to get more fit, because at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. We need to make we need to goal set. We need to have some sort of direction where we're going in life, but we don't want it to be so, I'm going to lose a stone before the spring. You know, and you find that you're doing it every single year. I looked at my goals for 2024, which are here. Yeah, here. So, and I'm going to sort of, these were my wishes. Wishes to release. I have had quite a lot of pain in the right side of my body, and I've actually conquered that a little bit. It's kind of a lot better. Still have to watch my diet, but it's a lot better. I've got nothing wrong with my body. I thought I'd got gallstones, but that was all ruled out, so that's fine. One of my goals for this year, the 2024, was to buy a new car. Um, that hasn't happened. um, but I'm going to move it and I've actually put by December 2024. So I did put like a timeline, which is what you should do when you do goal setting. I put blue or white car. I wanted a Toyota by December 2024. I've been thinking about that today, so it's quite interesting. It was like the last part of my goal towards the end of the year. I'm going to book myself into having a test drive for a car. I wanted to get more back into my herbs and natural recipes, that kind of thing. I've been doing a lot of that. I've been making infusions, drying teas, preserving a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of dehydrating vegetables and things as like a backup. If the supermarkets don't have a lot of food or whatever else is in the pipeline because you keep talking about food shortages. That's all. I've done loads and loads of preparation in case of kind of thing. I put down that I wanted to update my kitchen, which I've done. I painted my kitchen 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've been making blinds for my kitchen. They're not quite done, but they're nearly done. I wanted to go to Japan, and that's not till next year. That probably won't happen. I've actually booked a cruise with a friend of mine, and then hopefully after this cruise, I want to go with my friend to Japan. So that's something that's kind of in the pipeline. Yeah, and the other things are quite more personal things, which I don't really want to share with you on this video. Excuse me, I just need to blow my nose. I haven't got a cold. It's sometimes when I'm doing these videos, energetically, I pick things up. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about, so I've gone through what happened in 2024, and I watched the videos back because my friend said to me, oh, remember last year you set 3 words, and the words were love, passion, and enthusiasm, motivation to get things done. And that's something that can be quite tricky, can't it? To be really passionate about something and really motivate yourself getting into things. Now, myself, I'm quite a self-motivated person. I'm an only child, and I have to. When I was a child, I had to entertain myself quite a lot because I didn't have that many friends. My friends had family, but I was an only child, so it was always up to me to get my toys out or books out or whatever. So I've always been a person that has kind of a project on the go. that project is usually linked to my work. But this year it's been a bit different. I've kind of stepped back from that. I've not really had a project. The house has been more of a project, keeping up with things. And I've come to, it's like the end of the year, and I really feel that I've done quite a lot in my house, cleaning, tidying, decluttering, the last finishing of my kitchen, which was desperately needing doing. And in the new year, I just want to finish doing the blinds and getting the kitchen nicely decorated, finished, and so I can just relax and enjoy the kitchen because I love cooking. It's one of my passions. So this last week, I've been going through all of my cookery books, really decluttering them. I had something like 64, 65 cookery books, which, I mean, you know, there comes a point in life, do I need 65 cookery books? So I tend to buy books that inspire me. I maybe get it from a charity shop, and there'll be one recipe in there that is the only recipe that I use in that book. So I was quite ruthless, excuse me. Um, and I got rid of about 10 today and a couple the week before. And I looked through them. I thought, I've never made anything out of these cookery books. They're going to go. Somebody else will be, using them. So it's a really good time to declutter towards the end of the year. And I'm very blessed the fact that I'm self-employed and I can actually finish work when I want to. So I finished on the 18th of December. Been doing an awful lot in the house. Obviously, I have family and Christmas time, my grandchildren, that sort of thing. Anyway, let's go back to, rather than go on about what I've been doing, but I thought it was nice to reflect of going back. And my friend said to me, you did about 3 words and you ask everybody on the video, it was also a workshop that I did, a yoga workshop, to find 3 words to use that as your stepping stone into 2025. And the 3 words for myself for 2025 is, I'll go through them in a moment, but the energy of 2025 is a 9 year. Now, back in 2017, I think it was, or 18, I did a Kundalini teacher training course. And in that course, you do numerology and you talk about the energy of the numbers. So we talked about 8, 7, 6, 5, whatever, right down to 0. And it goes up to the number 10. It also goes into 11 and 22, 33, that kind of thing. But the energy today is an 8, so we're moving into a number 9. So number 8 energy, excuse me, let me just I've got my notes here. The energy of a number 8, so this year, was a pranic body, and it was all about healer, heal thyself. Number 8s are healers. My numerology, my life path is an 8. So we're moving into a 9 year, which is about the subtle body. So it's actually not quite so physical. It's more the subtle realm, more the etherical energy, the mastery energy, the higher cosmos. It's very airy. Okay. We also stepped out of Pluto in Capricorn on the 18th of November and moved into the energy of Pluto in Aquarius, which again is an air sign. So it's very much about air. It's about communication. It's about air travel. And unfortunately, we've had 2 air crashes in the last couple of weeks. We had quite a devastating one. I think it was on Boxing Day, and we had one a couple of weeks previous. But that's air travel. So it's all about the energy of air. What do we do in the air? We breathe it. We've been under a fog in the UK for the last week or so. I travelled back from my house to my son's house, who lives down south, and we had to drive 2 hours, and it was foggy. It was really, really foggy. And the next day, it was just cloud cover. Well, I don't think we've seen the sun. I think we saw it a little bit today, but it's been like this blanket of fog. So energetically, I was listening to Amanda Ellis, who I follow, and she was talking about the fog, and she looked into the energy of the fog, and it was talking about what it meant and everything like that. I'm not going to go into all of that. But for me, it's about, a lot of us have got this foggy mind where we can't clearly think, we can't think. We've got our phones on, we've got noise going on, there's a lot of distractions. So this number 9 energy is about mastery of mystery. It's the subtle body. So the energy tomorrow will be completely different. When we move into that 9 energy, it's going to be a total new energy. And it's all about mastery. So it's an energy that needs balance. We need to keep it balanced. So my words for me for 2025, one of them is balance. Okay, being in that balanced place. So if you think of a seesaw, and you've got the middle point, this is a little bit how the energy is, isn't it? In life, we're up, we're down, but we're never really in that still point. So that is my focus, is to get more in the still point, which means I've got to now think about my life and discipline. I'm quite good with that. I'm quite good at setting boundaries, setting, like framework in my life. One thing I'm going to do is to start really disciplining myself on social media and on my phone. Spend too much time on my phone. I've noticed the last few months I've got too much attached to that phone, and that's got to start to change. So it's about finding the balance in life. It's okay having a phone, and it's okay having a bit of time where you're watching something that's interesting, important, and useful. Okay. If it's not, and it's just entertaining, there's a difference. Is it a useful thing to be watching? Does it give you some knowledge, education, or is it just about flipping through the phone at the latest thing? Because a number 9 energy is about, what did I write down? The latest thing we can get distracted about, the latest way of doing something. And especially with AI being quite, quite here in our world right now and into the future, we have to accept that. But it's also about taking time for you to get your focus, not letting the energy use you, okay? Because it will do, all right? So mastery of mastery is a 9-year. I wrote down a lot of notes when I did my Kundalini energy training, and I'll go a little bit into that because there are a couple of different things that can happen in the 9 energy. So number 9, if you are a number 9, so if your energy, your soul's path is a 9, you're a person that can go into a room and you can kind of reorganize in it. You can say, well, that's in the wrong place. I'm going to move that chair over there. That's going to go over there. That's the wrong color. Kind of a bit feng shui like. And sorry, it's my phone. But it's about knowing something without knowing it. It's a very old soul energy. So we're going to be going into that time of old soul energy. You might start a project, you might start something, but you don't finish it. What I'm saying to you is, and I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but you need to finish the jobs that you're doing without thinking, oh, I've got the latest thing, taking you off the subject. Stick to a project and finish it, yeah, and then start on something new. That's fine. Number 9s tend to be the master of everything. Yeah, they're very good at mastering stuff. They kind of know a lot of things already. So you could pick up a sewing machine and a sewing needle, and they would be able to sew without having any instruction. However, sometimes number 9s can get very messy. They can get a bit clumsy when they're not balanced. So we need to keep this balance in mind, that we're not doing all the time to fill our life. We need to have space where we can breathe, calm, meditate, journal, all these things that we've been doing over the last few years. If you've been following me, it's always my intention to be in that still point. That is the balance, and then going higher. So as a negative energy, it can get very clumsy. It can be very insensitive. It can say things just blurt them out, and it can be quite cutting. It can be quite harsh, and sometimes that's not a nice thing. So be careful of your words, because we are in this air energy. And remember, you say something, you can't always take those words back. Um, they also can, in the nine energy, this collective, everybody. It can be not finishing anything that you started. Um, it's but when it's balanced, you can tune into the world around you and go into the energy. I've made these notes and allow you to go into the flow of awareness. So you're very much aware of the present moment, and that's not easy, is it? But the more we can work on it and master it, the more we'll actually find that 2025 will be an area, or a year that can be very, very fulfilling, and we can learn a lot of new things. Like today, I didn't go, oh, we can't go to the farm, let's go home and have a cup of tea at home. No, we thought, no, we'll go somewhere else. And I found myself in a place that I'd never been before. And it was lovely. It was really lovely. Okay, so working on new skills. So what I'm saying is, if you do set your New Year's resolutions or goal setting, maybe think about something new to do, a new skill. Um, Without making this video too long, I don't want to go into things, but I started, and I did mention this on my 2024 November video. I picked up the Artist's Way book, and I think I've got it down here because I'm still working through it. And because of reading this book, synchronicities come in, and I find myself now doing ceramics, doing pottery, which I'll start back again next year. Excuse me. And I'm really enjoying it. I've made a lot of friends, new friends, which I would never have made before. People that I would never even think of talking to, because we're in a different environment, and some very creative people, and I've learned a lot. I'm not very good at pottery, but I enjoy it. I enjoy getting my hands in the clay. For me, it's very earthy, it's very grounding, and it gives me 2 hours that I'm just focusing on the one object, the one thing. Excuse me, I'm just going to just check my phone, because I just want to actually switch it off as well. Sorry, I do apologise. I don't normally have my phone on when I'm doing these videos. I'm just going to switch that off, if it'll let me. Sorry, I don't want to stop the video, but I don't want this going off. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? Never mind. Let me just put it down there, and hopefully it won't go off again. Anyway, where was I? So anyway, it can be a clumsy energy, it can be distractive, and it can be sloppy. You can find yourself in a mess if you're not focused. So keeping tidy, keeping to one thing and one thing only. Yeah, I'm talking to myself here, because I'm looking around this room and I've got stuff everywhere, and I can be a little bit like that, but it's kind of relevant to what we're doing. Okay, so time to sit and listen and feel into the energy of 2025, and feel what you need to do, what you want to do. So finding a new hobby, finding a new skill. If you start to find that yourself, the energy is getting a little bit scattered, and you find yourself getting a bit clumsy, just sit, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and go into your own space, and just ask whatever's going on around you to be cleared. You can ask our Archangel Zadkiel, which is the violet flame. He will clear away stuff. I do that all the time when there's stuff going on and something's kicking off. I'll go, right, violet flame time. I put my hand on my heart, and I'm just sitting, and I'm just asking Zadkiel to come in and clear my energy, and things change. Also asking for a bit of direction. You can ask Archangel Uriel to light the path, clear the path for you. If it feels like you're not getting anywhere, just asking to clear the path. Asking for direction, but moving higher. So it's not a case of just going forward a bit. Ask to go higher. Ask to go into that mastery energy. It's time to look around and just being kind to yourself. I'm just going to quickly look through this book because I'm feeling there might be something in this book that talks about the number 9, because it's all about the 9 energy. Um, yeah, it's kind of that artistic impression, artistic energy. Um, it says here the shadow can be sloppy, very reactive, ruthless, intense, um, and yeah, I put here stop procrastination. Do one thing and master it, because you can be what's the word, a master of all things. Where is it? Master of everything, jack of all trades. I can't remember, but it's a jack of all trades, not master of one. That's right. So you can be doing all these things, but you're not any good at anything. You can do a load of things, but you're not mastering it. So number 9 is saying about just keeping one project, get it done without 100 and thousands of things on your list that you don't get anything done because it's so much. And it can be the energy of overwhelm. I'm going to pick a few cards. I don't want this video to be more than half an hour, and it's 26 minutes now, so who knows. I'm going to go with I've got a few cards here on my desk. I've not got a lot of cards here today because my daughter's been staying with me. I had a bit of a clear out and I left a few oracle cards just to give her a little bit of direction. She's got a few things going on in the new year. She wants a bit of direction, so it's all good. Next year is number 9, is also linked to the energy of Mars, which is fire. The red energy can be inflamed energy. So anything that's inflamed in our bodies. I'm doing some work at the moment. I don't think I've got it with me right now. Let me just have a quick look. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. No, I've not. But I'm looking at cleansing my diet and looking at the acid alkaline. You see, I've got everything everywhere. So I need to get this 9 energy under control before tomorrow. It's all about what's going on. So I'm not actually asked anything, but that's come out. The acid alkaline diet, trying to be more alkaline energy, because the acidic acid, it doesn't acidic energy in our bodies, or the acidic foods don't do us any favors. They can create arthritis, they can cause all sorts of health issues. Okay, so I'm going to ask for 3 cards for 2025. One's already popped out. What cards can we bring through for a little bit of guidance for us for tomorrow? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to sit quietly. I'm going to write down my own intentions. I don't call them resolutions anymore. I call them intentions of what I want to do for next year. Okay, so big changes for me next year. I've got a lot of decisions to make. Okay, so the first card that came out was, I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it there. Okay, and it's the King of Fire, and it says motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. And one thing it did say on my notes I made for my Kundalini training was sophistication and refinement. Okay, so going into that refined energy, going into the energy of sophistication. So, being kind, using more virtues and the old-fashioned ways in a way, going back to the simple times, like sewing, knitting, crocheting, tapestry, whatever floats your boat basically. And it says focus, 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 communicate with vision and be a leader, advice from someone creative. I think that card came out before, if I'm not mistaken, or it was definitely a card that I brought through in one of my other readings. We've also got, that one came at the bottom. Then the second one that came out was Archangel Zadkiel. What did I say about Zadkiel? Clearing the space. It's the energy of balance. And it says, the need for balance and moderation. Um, oh, I should put my glasses on to read these cards. Cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. So what did I say about not rushing and doing everything in one go? Just wait, listen, find where you need to go. And then we've got the 10 of air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to be better, get better, recovering from an addiction. Now, for me, that is the end of 2024. It has been a very challenging year, hasn't it? I mean, you can't say this year has not been filled with all sorts of stuff. You know, we've had loads of things politically, weather-wise, all sorts of stuff. You know, too many things to go through. But one of the things for me who has been very very challenging is my allotment. I've got a growing space. I grow veg, and it's been so challenging, really really challenging. We've had too much rain, too much sun, not enough rain, dry weather. Then literally it goes cold, so everything was just all over the place, which is like the energy was. Remember, it was a healing energy. It's about healing. So at the end of this year, do you feel that you've actually got to a place where you've healed a lot of things? I know through the challenges of growing, I've learned a lot about patience and just keep going. I mean, how many squash plants I planted from seed, and I did actually get a harvest. It wasn't as much as I used to get, but I got something. So with that patience, I kept going, I kept growing, and kept getting eaten by slugs, and then I kept growing a bit more, got eaten again, and I was just feeding the slugs. But I did get something. But the energy last year was teaching me about the patience. So just keep going, just keep chipping away, and eventually you'll get rewarded. And that is said here, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now, and recovering from addiction. So, what was your addiction in 24? Because this is like the end of this situation. What did you learn from 2024? It might be a good time today and tonight to write down what you learned from 24, and what you still need to maybe work on. The last card that was actually at the bottom of the pack, which I sometimes pick up, and again, this is a fire card. It's the Four of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and a successful completion of a project. So, lovely cards. I hope and send out lots of love to you all. Hope for a really nice evening this evening. I'm looking forward to. I'm on my own tonight. I'm just going to be putting the Jules Holland in the UK. We have it's called Hogmanay. It's I can't remember the name of it now. It's got a name. And Jules Holland plays jazz, and I love jazz music. And he usually has singers on and things like that. And it's just a lovely way to bring in the new year. It's very high winds today, so I don't know if there's going to be many fireworks. I think in Scotland a lot of things have been cancelled. But let's hope that everybody stays safe this evening. The weather doesn't keep us all up all night with the howling winds, and there's no damage. And I always think when you know high winds come in on the last day of the year, there is a energy there because it's air. It's clearing something. It's clearing for the new energy to come in. So you might want to just spend a bit of time in meditation, um, to do a little bit of clearing tonight on what we've learned from 2024 and 25. I feel that it will be still a challenging year. It's still going to be challenging. We've got a lot of challenges coming up. But if I could pick out two or three things that I want to do in 25 that's going to help not just myself but also my community, is to serve and do more selfless things, not expecting anything in return, you know, going and helping somebody that's in need. I have a few friends that this year have had a few health challenges, and I hope that I've been there as support for them. and I know they watch my channel, so it's been, for me to help somebody, it helps, it makes me feel nice that I've supported somebody and I can be there for them. And I'm very grateful for the fact that because I'm self-employed, I have a bit more time and I can choose um, where I put my time and how I operate, kind of thing. But I know it's difficult for some people when they work full time and they don't have that time necessarily to be able to serve and work in the community, and that's fine. I was talking to my friend today, and she was saying, about doing things on Christmas Day. She'd actually been away for Christmas, and I said to her, well, I was looking that my daughter came up because I live alone, and and what would I do if I was on my own? um I would go out and find somewhere to volunteer, that kind of thing. And I think that's where we need to be next year, because it's all about community, it's about bringing people together. That was the other thing I meant to say on the number 9 energy. It's about networking, it's about community. I live in a 9 house. The numbers of my house add up to a 9. So this house is very much a networking house. It's about bringing people together. I've had a lot of lodgers live here, and they've all taught me quite a lot of things in the past. But 9 is about bringing people together, learning from each other, sharing skills. I can grow on my allotment, and I'm hoping that to do more of that. We've got a community garden coming up in our village, so I'm hoping to be part of that. So the skills that I know through gardening, I can pass them on to the next generation. That's not necessarily, right now, but as they get a bit older, my grandchildren, showing them how to grow veg and grow food and that kind of thing. But it's all about the gifts that we have inside of us that we don't necessarily know that we have until we tap into them. You know, I started doing the ceramics and I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy it, and I've made a few things that I think I actually sit back and think actually that's pretty okay. There's a few things that have been a bit of a disaster, and they're dumped in the garden. um, but it's a learning curve, isn't it? So, don't give up on your gifts. And if you have a gift that you're good at, share it. Show somebody else how to sew, put a needle together, and some people don't even have to thread a needle. Um, but yeah, so we go back to those old values, and you will know, because the number 9 energy is about knowing something without knowing how you know it, if that makes sense. I'm going to pull one more card for the energy of the earth. I like to do that before I go. And I'll use my Gaia Oracle. As I say, I was going to go out to my healing room, which is in the garden, but it's absolutely blowing out there and I don't want to go out there. So I'll just use the cards I've got. So this is the Gaia Oracle. And I'm just going to ask for one card to come in for 2025 about the energy of Earth. So Gaia Oracle, one card from the energy of the Earth, Mother Earth. There we go. And we've got, I'm not going to read out of the book. Intuitive communication. I have to cover up the lady because she's naked. There we go. Intuitive communication, and it says silent whispers of the heart. And the tree has actually got a lovely beating heart there. So getting out into nature, connect with Mother Earth. You've got a beautiful blue sky. So the more we can clear our own stuff, the skies will start to come back to be blue. Because at the moment it's this heavy fog around us, and it's not just in England. It's kind of a lot of all over the place. There's lots of different greens and blues there, and yeah, getting into nature, this little heart there. And I'll look on the bottom of the pack, because I always like to look at the bottom of the pack. And we've still got the energy of healing, and that still is from the 8th year. Some of us haven't learned really that much this year. I have to cover up again. She's got this, but it's the healing. So it says um, reconnecting with your true nature. So getting out into nature. So if 2024 was a time where you didn't spend an awful lot of time in nature outside, make it your plan for this year to spend more time in nature, going into your heart, use your gifts, psychic gifts as well coming in, and enjoy 2025 when it arrives. I'm going to go now. I'm going to make myself another drink. I'm going to write my intentions like I did with those there. As I looked on there, I thought, actually, because I thought, oh, I haven't looked at a car, but it was by December 24, and I've really almost put that in. I was going to actually book a test drive this week, but because he's been so busy with family and things, that didn't happen. But I'm nearly there. So there's a lot of things on that sheet because I actually wrote them down and then speak them out loud. So you write them down and you put a date next to them. You try to put a date as much as you can, and then you speak it out to the universe. And the universe is always listening. It will listen, and it has, by universal law, it has to reply or give you some information. And remember, it's all about divine timing. So, not necessarily I'm going to get a car by December 24 because it's the last day of the year, unless tomorrow morning I wake up and I don't know, win the lottery or something, and I can go and buy myself a car tomorrow. Then I practically got my wish. Hopefully that might happen. Who knows? Anyway, everybody, I just wanted to wish you a happy new year. I will be on a little bit more on YouTube. I'm planning on coming on here a little bit more and offering my gifts to you because I do a lot of gardening. Might be good to share. I will be getting my seed books out tomorrow. I've already got one here. I'll show it you. It came a couple of days ago. I love it this time of year. Get all these seed catalogues, and this one is DT Brown, the seed experts. Never had anything from them before. Loads and loads of veg, and what I like about it, it's got like a little planner inside here. I've got like to do your own bed planning and weekly diary of how things went. So that's quite nice. So I shall keep that. I'll look through that tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye and lots and lots of love to you all. I will see you in 2025. Have a great evening and I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.